Wicks is cool, dude. Every time I've talked to him, he's always been like, Tommy, what's good? I'm like, I can't tell you not to call me Tommy because I just,
Tommy's a no-go.
no,
Do you prefer Tom before Tommy?
no, hell no. Tom is just like, it's like, I don't know. I don't like that one at
Like
all.
if someone was talking down to you, they'd call you Tom.
It's Thomas, sir.
It's Thomas Bushel Beans.
Yup. That's when that happened. I remember I heard my name, Tom, and student manager Tom Bush comes over the intercom. I'm like, dude, it's year 4 and this still hasn't gotten changed. Like, come on, man.
What do you mean?
At BH during starting like lineups and
Oh,
stuff
oh,
at
the
home games.
announcer.
But I
Yeah.
remember I went into Melissa's office. I think that was her name, and I'm like, hey, who does the type up for the announcer in the mornings, or for the games? And she's like, I do. Chum just sends me all the names. I'm like, can we please change my name to Thomas? It's not
Yeah.
Tom.
It's
I was like,
not Tom.
it's been Tom for 4 years, and I just every
I'm
time I have to
tired of it.
change it, I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Just please for
Did
one
they
one
ever
year.
did they ever
Oh yeah,
say
right away.
Thomas?
Next game it was Thomas Bush, student manager. I was like, or student assistant. I'm like, you're the goat for changing that so fast.
Mhm.
Cause I didn't think it was gonna
Change it real
happen.
quick. It was that assertiveness.
Mm-hmm. You gotta let them know it's done.
Did you get to watch? Oh yeah, we were texting through it. That game seven, like thinking back on it, what do you take from it?
Disappointment, disappointing. Cool for the Heat. Like I did not see that one coming. Honestly, I didn't see the Heat
Mm.
just absolutely smacking Boston in the face like they did. Um, but on Boston's side of things, I was like super disappointed. Of all games, you're gonna come out
Uh,
like that. Like they played like they had a game 8 to go win.
hmm Yeah, it certainly got out of hand towards the end there, and but even because I tuned in about halfway through the third quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and it was between like an 8 and 12 point game through that whole thing, and then like man, I guess for me, and I said this to you on the text message, is Jalen Brown he was disappointing down the stretch, man. And I know I've seen him catch a lot of heat on Twitter these past couple days, but he disappointed me for sure.
All series, all
Mm.
series. I'm gonna go to stat muse real quick, but all series that was just like, dude, what are you doing out there? I mean, I know you're a shell of yourself, but for
What
what he
what site
did,
did you just say? What was that?
StatMuse. Like you can
Stat
search.
Muse.
Yeah, I just searched like Jalen Brown 2023 Eastern Conference Finals. It said Jalen Brown has averaged 19 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 3.4 assists in 7 games. And he shot 41%. Oh my God. 16% from three. Bruh.
Oh,
Caleb Martin had better stats than him. Caleb Martin, for one, is going to get paid. He just played his way into
yes.
a contract.
You know what he showed that like I haven't watched much Caleb Martin at all this year, but from what I've seen in this series and then watching that game seven is he can put that thing on the floor a little bit too. He's got some nice
Mm-hmm.
moves that created some space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then obviously his shot making was really good too, but man, he put a couple little quick, like where he just made a quick change, stopped on a dime and pulled up, and I was like, "Oh man, he's really been working on his game."
No, for
Maybe
real.
he's always had that. I don't know.
He I remember it was like game three came around and they said he was shooting what he was like 61%. And I'm like, dang, that dude's getting to the money.
Yeah, he was killing it.
Jason Tatum though, too. I can't go with you blaming it on your ankle though. Like I understand you rolled your ankle, but dog, go get a shot in the tunnel real quick and 14 points. I've seen
Okay,
I've
so I saw
seen
the clip. I
Le,
saw the clip of him. Hold on. I saw the clip of him roll his ankle. Did it look bad to you? Have
I
you
mean,
seen it?
to me, you've rolled your ankle before, so like you can like tweak it just like it could roll barely and that'll hurt like hell. So I mean, any rolled ankle
Mm-hmm.
to me is like, damn, that's gonna hurt. But like I've seen LeBron James ankle touch earth and
Mm-hmm.
he tightened it up and he got up and went for 35. I- I've seen Kobe Bryant's
Yeah.
ankles touch earth and he's done the same thing. Like,
What was this is off topic, but I'm assuming you've rolled your ankle really bad before, right?
the very first time I rolled my ankle, I couldn't walk on it. I was done. It was in some
Was
Kobe's.
that so? Was the first time you rolled your ankle? Was that the first time it was a bad one? Because like there's a difference between little tweaks in the ankle that they hurt real
Yeah.
quick for a little bit, and then you just kind of walk it off. But then there's that first one you ever get that's like, oh, I rolled this one bad. Do you remember it?
Oh, it was the very first time I rolled my ankle. I went up for a rebound and
Yeah,
I came down on a foot and I just hit the floor. Like I just hit the floor. And I remember the play went on and someone was like, "Bush, get up." I was like, I can't. Like this one
yeah,
hurts." And I remember I
yeah.
walked off and my buddy Cook was like, he's like, dude, how does it feel? Because he had bad ankles too, like right before me, and this was the summer before my senior year, and I go, dude, it feels like I got like a million knives just all over the place in there. I can't, like, it
Yeah.
hurts. And that was the 8 o'clock game in this summer tournament, right? And my parents didn't come down. I rode down with Bubba, and I planned on staying the whole weekend because we only had a day of games, and then the next day I was gonna help out with the younger kids and just sit on the bench and help them out. And I just remember no crutches, nothing, dude. I'm like hopping around on one foot all day.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst experience ever. I got a ride home that day, and I'll never forget the minute I put that thing in the ice bucket. Oh, it felt so good because it was so hot. I was relieved at that point. But
hmm
like everyone says, after the first one, you just get pissed. Like every time you roll it
Yeah,
again, you're like, God,
exactly.
like what the man? Like you just
You
get
know,
super pissed.
you just get angry. The first, so I've rolled my ankle pretty good, of probably 4 to 5 times. But the worst one, and you were there for this one, was when I stepped on Brody Brisk's foot when I
Oh,
Euro stepped around him.
uh-huh. I thought you blew something
Oh
out in your knee.
no, man, I stepped on his foot. And that was like you said, I felt the top of my foot lay on the floor.
You feel
And I
everything
was
just stretch.
well, and what you said about the knives, like just how it feels just like this piercing pain just shooting up your leg. And
Oh,
I remember didn't even really yell at first. I was just kind of like, "Oh," and I just like sat there silent, and then I kind of finally started rolling around and was like
you
writhing in pain.
you can't like there's not like what do you sit there now, what do I do here? I need to do something to take this pain away, take my mind off
Yeah.
of it.
So you just roll around on the floor.
Did you did she give you the horseshoe? Do you know what I'm talking about? The horseshoe?
No, I never got the horseshoe. And for that one, they put me in the boot. Remember, I tried to play
Uh-huh.
at
You tried to
Metro the
play.
next day,
Trump was like, nah,
and
Tate.
Trump was like, "Nah, man."
He applauded the
That looks,
effort, but we're watching you in
yeah,
warm up, so you can't even move.
yeah, man. I was hurting.
That
Um,
no, that's a different
but
type
I
of
got a
hurt,
boot for
dude.
that one. Yeah.
I see when I did mine, I had the boot and I'm walking around in school in the boot and whatnot. And I just remember my our trainer saw me in the boot when I was walking to the locker room after right before lunch or something. So I had to go get some. I went to go get some stuff from the locker room, and Stacy goes, "What'd you do?" I was like, I rolled my ankle really bad. I don't know. My mom saw her first and was like, "Hey, Thomas rolled his ankle. If you see him, find him." And she's like, "I need you to go
Find
home."
it.
She's like, "Go home and get," because I had Vans. I always wore Vans in high school because I was like
Mm.
the shoe. And she said, "Go get a flat pair of shoes." And she goes, "Will Vans work?" She's like, "Yes, those are perfect." And so she went and got the Vans, and she put me in this horseshoe, dude. Oh my god, that's
Mm.
almost worse than rolling your ankle. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. The
Because
minute,
that's the
because
thing that like pushes all the inflammation up into that little spot, right?
yes, just the pain I'm already feeling. The worst part
Yeah.
about it, like it, I love the horseshoe for one because it heals it a little bit faster and it gets all that blood away from the joint and whatnot. But
Mm.
she I remember the first day I did it, I slept with my foot elevated, and then I got up the next morning to take a shower, and I unwrapped it and took it off. And in about 2 minutes, when everything went back into my ankle, I was in the shower. I almost fell over, dude. I was in so much pain. It felt like I
Because it just
rolled it
started
right over
throbbing,
again.
huh? Yeah. Because it just starts throbbing when that happens.
Ah, ankle sucks, man. That
That's the
sucks.
Hoopers. That's the Hoopers injury right there. I feel like in basketball, rolled ankles is something that you better become accustomed to in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh yeah. I taped up after that whole season. Tape. I need
I
tape.
had to. Yeah, I need the tip.
I need go get tip. Get to me the tip.
Tip to get to me tip.
Oh, I know I'm gonna run into Devo sometime. That's such a change in topic, but no, the ankles, dude. Lord.
Mm.
Oh,
I don't even remember what got us on that
Jason
conversation.
Tatum. We
Yeah.
were talking about Jason
Oh,
Tatum.
but yeah, the one for me is, yeah, I guess what made me think about that was it looked like he rolled it pretty good. And the reason I say that is he was coming down from a jump, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the worst.
And he landed. That's the one. That's why I think it was maybe worse than it looked. Um,
'Cause-
but it makes me think about the Jimmy Butler thing because I saw a quote from him today. He was like, a reporter asked him about his ankle injury because I guess he's been hobbled a little bit. Um,
Yeah, he rolled his in
and
Madison in game one or
yeah,
game two, one of the two.
yeah, and he goes and he said, "No one cares." He's like, "Don't care," and
Yeah.
he's saying that to the reporter. And I think not that that had any effect on the way Jason Tatum played, but I'm just saying like we brought up Jimmy Butler in multiple podcasts and just his mindset, I think, is one that you want in in those game sevens because it's a just get it done mentality, and um, he usually ends up getting it done.
Mm-hmm. No, he that's I'm I'll go to my grave on this, dude. Some people's pain tolerance is just different. Like
Absolutely.
some people can really mess their stuff up and just keep going. And
Mm.
it's just crazy how they can I don't know. It's just a different type of mindset. Did I have that? Hell no. Hell no. I remember I guess when I tweaked it one time in a game and I was like, God damn, that hurts. And I kind of limped back and I got subbed out. And I'm like, what are you doing? I need to like let me keep running up and down the court.
The
Let me run
warm,
this.
yeah.
But when you roll it really bad the way he did that, it's not fun. I just don't like the excuse he made to the media. He's like, I was a shell of myself. Like that shows you the different type of, and maybe I don't know, you were a shell of yourself, but don't. don't like
Don't let
expose
them know
that
that.
out.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Butler said, don't matter. I don't
Said
care.
no one cares.
Nobody cares. You got to win a basketball game. Um,
Mm.
but going off that, finals Nuggets Miami. Um, they got Jokic as a minus 140 odd to win the MVP while averaging a triple double.
Ooh.
So they know that's going to happen. It's just a matter of if the Nuggets win or not. That's crazy, dude.
Let me ask you this on that stat there. Do you think I don't think the Miami Heat necessarily have the personnel to prevent Jokic from doing that, but we've talked about in the past, they're a great adjustment team and they're kind of like that figure it out team.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think they're going to be able to let's just talk about that stat you brought up. Do you think they're going to be able to hold him under that triple double stat by being able to just figure it out?
No, I think he's
No.
too good, but
Mm,
I think he's gonna have to work for it because I think with their like they throw so many defensive schemes at people that it's
mm-hmm.
just like, hey, you better be thinking on the fly. I think he'll get it, but I think it's the other guys that might struggle a little bit. You got
Yeah.
to think they've had this is I was watching a show this afternoon. They've had 10 games off, and this is their that's the longest stretch of not playing games in to leading up to a finals appearance in the history of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to play a factor tomorrow for sure. But
Yeah.
Nuggets are the best home team in the league for a reason. Like they do their
Mm.
work at home. Um,
The Mile High
it's
City gets rocking, baby.
it's gonna be interesting for sure. I will say that I can't wait for this one because this is a basketball purists finals,
Yeah.
not just like a oh hey we're making a lot of shots. No, this is gonna be offensive schemes versus defensive schemes, vice versa. It's
Yeah. I think it's going to be a chess match for sure, which I think is concisely what you're saying is it's going to be obviously players making plays because that's what it takes to win championships and win games. But um, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before as well. Is these are going to be moments where coaching adjustments do play a role in winning the
yes,
series,
yes.
and whether it's defensively or offensively, how you're attacking teams, whatever it might be. Um, that is where coaching comes to play. So obviously, Mike Malone has shown that he's able to make those adjustments as well as Spoelstra. But obviously, Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets in general have never been on this stage, so it'll be cool to see kind of that chess match between these two
Mm-hmm.
teams.
Mm-hmm. I think like they always say in these series, a good coach will get you a game. I think Spoelstra will get the Heat at least a game and or two. I just think the Nuggets are too good. Like two,
Mm-hmm.
they're five versus the Heat's five, and just the pieces they put on the floor are just too good. Um, it's their. I just think it's their year. But off your Mike Malone thing, I didn't know he was the head coach in Sacramento when Isaiah Thomas was there, because Isaiah
Yeah,
Thomas was like that dude turned things around over there for like we were a game away from being 500, and he's like they fired him, and I was like, what the hell? Like this dude's changing the culture here. He's changing
yeah.
things. Like it doesn't mean that he's gonna win right away, but I mean the Nuggets got one. I think the Nuggets you got to keep Mike Malone for. He's gonna be like a Greg Popovich style coach where he stays there for a long time, like a long time. There's no reason for Denver to get rid of him.
Maybe not, but he might get a job somewhere that's his dream job,
Yeah,
Like,
true.
and we
That's
were
true.
just talking, I think it was before we hit record, uh, that culture of just athletics in general is people don't
Hmm.
stay, for the most part, people don't stay in one job for a long time in the coaching world. So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see that. Like obviously keeping the core of players together with the head coach. That'd be awesome to see kind of a redo of the Spurs with Ginobili and Parker and Timmy and Popovich.
I want to know how long has he been coaching the Nuggets since 2015? So he's been there for 8 years.
8 years.
Damn, that's the
Oh, let me
longest tenure.
ask you this, dude.
Go ahead.
I saw this. Yeah, I saw to this is off what you just said is um I saw this thing on Instagram or Twitter saying um like and it's kind of on the topic of these coaches that have won in the past that got fired is both Spolstra's been there for how long now? 15 years?
2008,
Yeah, 15 years. Or what is that? That's 15. Is it?
15
13?
seasons.
15, yeah.
15. Yep.
Um, and obviously Malone, you just said he's been there for 8 years, is building that core with the coach there as well because
Hmm.
it seems like it seems like the ones that are built to last are the ones that are always around, like the Warriors with Steve Kerr and Steph Curry and Clay. Those seem to be the ones that last. But then these other teams are like rotating through coaches, and it's like some years they're there at that pinnacle, and then some years it's like, man, they really underachieved.
Hmm. I don't, yeah, no, that's tough because I just feel like it's such a win now culture in professional sports that
Mm,
the front office gets impatient. But it's like, dude, you got to understand who you're, like, what you're working with, who you got on the team. Like, what did the coach do with these guys compared to, you know what I mean? Like, were they competitive even though you lost a lot of games? Were they in games and they just were not, they couldn't win them? Do they need like the extra piece or what it is?
hmm.
Because, like, I hate, have you been seeing the stuff about Pat Riley telling like people that don't come into my office about Spolstra?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that, I mean, that real that I apparently supposedly, not saying it's true because I saw this, I did see it on Twitter. Can't believe everything you see on the internet. Apparently, LeBron went into his office or
Yeah, I
like was
saw this.
hinting at it, and Pat Riley brought him in and was like, "Hey, man, no, this is my guy. We're sticking with my
Hmm.
guy." And apparently, that's why he left to Cleveland, which is like I saw a lot of stuff that like, damn, what if LeBron would have stayed with Miami and never left again? How many championships could he have with Spoelstra? I think he could have had a lot.
How many do you think? So he's
At
at
least
four right
six.
now.
At least six, personally. Dude, Spoelstra's a really good coach. And he's
Yeah.
proven it this year. I mean, there's no Jimmy Butler's great and all. Like he's really good, but there's no reason this team should be competing for a championship. There's no reason. Two in the last 4 years. Like,
But I mean, we've talked about in past podcasts that this Heat team was the one seed in the East last year, or
true.
was it last year?
No,
You
they
know,
were. They were.
um, and obviously year to year it's different. But we've also talked about this before: is their roster? It doesn't scare you. It doesn't make you think, "Oh my God, this is going to be." Um, a night where we're going to be working for everything and they're going to be, there's players all over the floor that can attack you and whatever else you're thinking as a coach. It doesn't strike you as a roster like that. So it's so crazy to me that yes, they are this good and they were the one seed last year and now this year they're making their run to the finals. It's just crazy to me. I don't know how else to put it.
They got a bunch of dogs on their team.
They got,
That's
they got dogs in the shed.
dude, I mean, They just got the perfect pieces around Jimmy. They got guys that are gonna listen to him, that are just as competitive as him, but they're winners. They're all winners. Like they've all been.
Mm,
They just want to win and prove people wrong too. And there's just
yeah.
belief. I think there's really that's what it is there's a lot of belief in that. And really I think what you're also seeing is Pat Riley's culture of, you're not here to bullshit around. You're here to get in shape. This is what the weight has to be for you. This is the percentage of body fat you have to have in order to play for us. And I
Mm,
think that does play a part because like we said, they're always competitive at the end of the year, and that I think that plays a pretty big part in what longevity of your body, of
hmm.
being able to last that long.
Yeah, and holding them accountable for, obviously their organization's paying them a lot of money to play for them and stuff. So holding them accountable to taking care of their bodies, not
Mm-hmm.
not to, you know, be be authoritarian and tell them what to do, but because it's going to benefit them and it's going to benefit the organization as a whole. Um, but the thing I wanted to touch on with Miami was they're kind of the epitome of what basketball is today, in my opinion. Of They have shot makers, um, off the ball. Max Strus, he's a shot maker. He's came up big. Obviously, Caleb Martin's
Mm-hmm.
emerged as that as well. Duncan Robinson's emerged since Tyler Hero's been out, and then they have
Gabe Vincent.
their Gabe Vincent. Absolutely, you can kind of go down the line with them of guys that have been those not necessarily just catch and shoot guys, but guys that they run actions for, whether it's a little dribble handoff for a shot for Max Strus, or they do a lot of that with Duncan Robinson as well. Um, dribble handoffs with shooters, but they also have the playmakers with Bam and Jimmy, obviously off the ball. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's such a reflection of today's game and what works in today's world of basketball.
Mm-hmm. You can't sleep on like Kyle Lowry's a huge piece and Kevin Love are huge
Mm-hmm.
pieces. UD's a huge piece, even though he never sees any minutes. Like he's a guy that's gonna hold you accountable off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around the game for so long.
And that
Been there, done
organization.
that. Um, I don't know. It's an interesting finals for sure. I do think because like part of me is like, damn, Miami has a legit chance. Like they do, and the way they've
Mm-hmm.
played through this whole entire playoffs. But the other part of me is just like Denver's too good because Jokic is clearing away the best player in this series, in my opinion. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you can slow him down, which I don't think you can, you have a chance. But I think it's going to be Nuggets in 6 games. I think the Nuggets will do it in 6.
Mm-hmm. I want to believe this goes to 7. I think the Nuggets are going to get it, but I think it's going to be Nuggets in 7.
Do you think anyone sneaks any road games, or is it just all home wins?
I think both teams get one on the road and then, split at home or,
Yeah,
whatever it might be.
yeah.
But I think these, like we've talked about, it's going to be a chess match. And I think in series that are chess matches, and it's not necessarily just about who has the better, like far and away the better team.
Hmm.
Those are games where they're going to be close at the end and someone's going to steal one or someone's going to sneak one out on the road.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's going to be such a fun series. Like you said, it's kind of a basketball purist series where I don't think maybe casual fans or people that aren't super into basketball are going to find it incredibly entertaining. But I know these games for people that know basketball, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I can't wait. I just like basketball, man. I like watching basketball. So the
Hmm.
NBA Finals to me is always the best. I
Yep.
love just champion. I love the Final Four. I love conference tournaments. It's just it's a different level of basketball. Like the shot
Hmm.
makers are really out there making shots. Like it seems like they're so locked in. And I just remember Kyle Lowry in the Golden State Warriors finals. Like that dude was not like he's a shot maker at times, but
Yeah.
he showed up. Fred Van Vliet, those types of guys. I like seeing guys like that just go nuts. So I am
Hmm.
excited to see how like Gabe Vincent and all these role players show up into the finals because that makes
Hmm.
it even more fun. Because no one wants a like a blowout. No one wants this to be lopsided and just be like a 4-1 or a 4-0 type thing. Like you want to at least make it interesting.
If that were to happen, say it was a lopsided series, I'm guessing you're gonna say it's the Nuggets that would be on the winning end of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Just because what they did to LA, dude. I did not think they were going to sweep LA. I didn't think it
Yeah,
was
that
going to be like
was.
that. Like they dominated
Hmm.
them. And everyone
They
says, "Oh,
did.
the games were close." Okay, yeah, the final score can tell you what the score was, but if you watch the game from start to finish, you know who was the dominating team.
Controlled that. Yeah.
Yeah, game 4, I like when the Nuggets were down 15 and then came back and made it a 3-point took a 3-point lead going in the fourth. I was just like, yeah, okay, if they lose this, even if they lose this game, they're winning the next one because they're just a better team, and you can clearly
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
So, all right, let's move on to topic number 2. We'll save the other. We'll go to officials because this is one that I've wanted to touch on at least a little bit. We don't have to spend 30 minutes on it, but
You have
I
some
want to
stuff to
start
get off your
off.
chest.
Well, first off, the NBA needs to figure out a way to hold officials accountable, in my opinion, because
Hmm.
there's been games where it's just like, what the are we watching? You
Yeah.
know, and even announcers will say it, like, what the hell? What is this? Coaches, like
Yeah.
everyone's saying, like this year has been one of those years. It's like, what is going on? Um, for example, starting off with that, Draymond Green got ejected for stomping on Sabonis's chest. Yeah, it's Draymond. History's gonna play a part. Did dude grab him by the leg? Yes, but still, you can't just land on a dude's chest. And then the next day, Joel Embiid like tries to up kick Mikal Bridges and or no, not Mikal Bridges. Who's the Nick Claxton? Oh, misses him right in the almost misses him in the nuts. But you knew exactly what he was doing, gets a tech, and then James Harden pushes off and barely like doesn't even barely push off, but just had his hand around a guy's groin, and the guy sold it, and then he gets ejected. And I'm like, dude, what are we like? What is what
Hmm.
now? You know what I mean? But like, I just feel
Yeah.
like there needs to be a way for officials to be held accountable in the NBA for some sort.
To me, I think that's you got to find them just like you would players,
Mm-hmm.
because the refs to me are part of the product as well. You want to go. Speaking of basketball purists, you want to go to a game that's officiated well as well because it just makes the game run so much smoother. It's more about what's going on in the game and not about people feeling like one team got screwed. But you don't want to go to a game and worry about the refs. So to me,
No,
holding the ref
never.
accountable, yeah, to me, holding the ref accountable, especially at the NBA level, those refs get paid well, I'm sure. I'm not saying fine them as much as you fine NBA players because obviously the money's at a different level, but fine them to something where it's going to be like, no, we are going to these egregious calls that you're making, they have to be addressed.
So yeah, you say officials getting paid every year. They're making 150,000 to 550,000 per year. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, a little 5K fine is not going to hurt them too bad. They're going
Five
to
to
be all
ten K
right.
fine. Yeah. Especially when the 2 minute report comes out and they've missed a list of calls. And I get it, like you can't hit every nitty nick and tuck foul
Hmm.
type thing, but like, dude, come on. Second,
But hold on
yeah.
real quick on that. We also have the video replay and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
all of this technology to be able to look back at it and be like, look, whoever it is, what's Scott Foster? I don't know. Obviously, that's the first name that comes to mind. This is nothing against you, Scott Foster, if you see this. Um, this is a call you cannot miss. Like we gotta find you, or especially on the technicals and ejections that are the weak ones. It's like, hey man, you got to use better discretion in this moment. We got to find you 2K or 3K or whatever it is.
Yep. Yep. Suspensions, something. It's okay. You can tell a ref to be like, "Hey, man, sorry, we're gonna announce to everyone that you got suspended for how bad you were, and we're gonna fine you 5K." Like, or a crew as a whole, because it does. I feel like it shouldn't just fall on one official. Like the whole crew is held accountable too, because it's like you can talk to them, like, "Hey, man, that was bad." You know what I mean? How much
Mm-hmm.
you can change, you can't, but it's like, dude, come on. Like, if you can hold each other accountable, like, hey, let's make this pretty even. Just because it just felt like sometimes. I mean, I made this point how the during the Lakers Warriors series, how the Warriors matched the points in the paint with the Lakers, but people were like, "Oh, the Lakers score differently around the paint." Well, yeah, I get that, but the Warriors were still going to the rack the same way the Lakers were, but weren't getting the calls, or coming
Mm-hmm.
off screens and getting held off screens, weren't getting the same calls. You got Dennis Schroeder throwing his body around, flopping like a baby
Mm.
fish out of water, and nothing happens. It's
Why
like,
a
dude, no one
baby
wants
fish?
to see this. I don't know. It just was the first thing that came to my mind.
No,
I just hate
I'm
it.
with
It's
you
just
though.
turning into WWE at some points, and it's like that's not the game of basketball I grew up watching in the mid 2000s.
The mid 2000s. What a prime time of NBA basketball.
I blame Manu Ginobili's dumbass for all the flopping, man. Shout out,
Don't hate on
he's an all-time great, but that man, when he had the long hair, he was just throwing his body around like none other too.
He was coming straight from Europe at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe some soccer was influenced on that. Who knows? But wait, no,
Argentina.
my fault, South America. Shoot, why did I think he was from Europe? Yeah, he's from
FIBA.
Argentina.
It's that FIBA style play,
Yeah,
man. It's
FIBA,
different. It's
international.
different. Um,
Obviously, very, very soccer oriented as well down there.
And then going off the second point of that, I was just in Omaha this weekend, and bro, when I tell you that I had these two girls reffing this game of mine, walking up and down the court, calling fouls, and they weren't even on the baseline yet, and the play had already started on our end, but she's not even
Hmm.
to the free throw line yet, and I'm like, she called I something had happened, and I started getting frustrated because I was like, no, I'm not gonna just not gonna let it bother me. These are fifth grade kids, like it is what it is. But then all of a sudden it just seemed like foul, foul, foul. And I looked at the guy and said, "What's the foul count?" He goes, "They're in the double bonus." I said, "No, what's the foul count? Like numbers. What's the foul count?" He goes, 7-1. And I snapped. I was like, "It's 7-1." And I was like, "That's crazy because you can't even get your lazy ass down to the baseline."
Oh, jeez. You said that?
Yeah, I was pissed, dude. Because
You're
it's
weird.
like, yo, have some integrity for the game. If you're gonna ref, like do it right. Get to the baseline at least. Like that's your job. I don't care if you don't make it to half court all the way, but make it to the
Bless you.
baseline. Thank you. I've been battling that sneeze for the past minute. God
Been
damn.
fighting you?
It was fighting me. But that's just how I feel about that. And then there was another game. I swear to God, there was 6 travels called against us in the last 5 minutes. Not one for the other team. And this kid gets granted, I'm gonna go back and explain why we lost because it's not the officials' fault at the end of the day. We blew that game. Like really
Mm-hmm.
bad. But this kid gets a rebound and he did the full Cinderella or ballerina spin with both feet moving. Took like 5 steps, laid it up, and won. And I called timeout and I walked out. I walked to the other side of the court and I looked at the ref. I said, "You're telling me he didn't use a pivot foot? He used his pivot foot?" I was like, "You're telling me that he went from this angle of the court to this angle and he used his pivot foot?" That I was like, that's impossible for how his body was positioned. He goes, "I didn't see it." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Bullshit, you didn't see it?" I was like, "Come on, dude. Like, you guys got to be better." And late, so then they ended up tying it. We're up 6, and I called during that time. I said, "Guys, we gotta calm down. Like, you guys gotta calm down a little bit. Pass the ball around, take their pressure, pass the ball. Like, let's make them foul us. The game is in our hands right now. We have this thing, right? And this is to get into the
Mm-hmm.
championship game with my 14U team that they were having me coach. And we get down, shoot a three with 50 seconds left. Not even a 10-second possession. Shoot, launch a three, brick. They come down, floater in the lane, or no, they hit a three, made it a 3-point game. And I'm like, damn it, this is not looking good right now. So
Mm-hmm.
then we come down, 15-second possession. We shoot it, we jack a three up with 30 seconds left. And I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Like,
Yeah, dude.
what are we doing? Miss it, go down, kid gets fouled, makes his first free throw, misses the second, gets his own rebound, floats it up, tie game. I'm like, are you
Oh
joking me
man.
right now? But at the time, I yelled at one of the kids. I had a timeout left, so he brings it up, and my plan was to call timeout. Like, I told them this is my fault. I'll take blame on this one, and I saw him beat 2 guys, but I had my back turned to where I was standing to our basket, so I didn't know where the court was, how the court was spaced. So I saw him
Mm-hmm.
beat 2 dudes, and I'm thinking, screw it, screw it. I'm gonna let him go. I'm just gonna let him go.
Yeah.
Right, right when I turn around, there's 3 guys right in that
Oh.
spot. And in my mind, I'm thinking there's not going to be enough time if I call a timeout to get a shot off. So I was like, I got to live with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets called for a travel, and I'm like, you're joking me right now. He gets
Mm-hmm.
called for a like you're joking me. So we go to overtime, and this big kid that started off the game with like 3 threes, then went completely ice cold, gets us because it was 1 minute overtime, gets a shot off, smacks it. And I'm like, shit, we're gonna lose this game. We come down. It just went kind of back and forth.
Just
And then
haywire
there's
at that
about
point.
3 seconds left, and it's Eric Glenn's kid, South Dakota School
Mm-hmm.
of Mines' head coach's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Great player. This kid's so smart. Gets a ball in the corner and gets fouled. Like I watched the. You know how when you are shooting and you get hit across the arms, how the ball kind of flies up weird, like it just flies out of
Yeah.
your hands weird. Same thing happened. Nothing. And I lost it, dude. I was like, that's not a foul? Are you kidding? The guy goes, well, no, your guy pushed one dude for a screen, so I was just gonna let that go. I said, that's not right, man. That's affecting the
Oh
outcome of the game.
man.
Like, I don't care what you say. I was like, if you told me you play at Jacksonville State, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, you'd be pissed right now. You'd be beside yourself if that
Mm-hmm.
happened to you and they didn't call the foul. He's like, damn right I would. I was like, then damn right you need to call the foul, bro. I was like, that's not right. You
Mm-hmm.
just influenced the outcome of the game. And at this point, like that half of the comments came after I shook hands. I followed him to his corner. I was not leaving until I got my until I
Was
got
he
my
hearing you
say in
out or
there.
was he not listening to
He
you?
was hearing me out, but like he kept saying, he's like, but coach, your guy fouled. And he's like younger than me. And I'm like, I don't care if my guy fouled. Either call that or call the foul that just happened. Like, you can't just not let that stuff
Exactly.
go. Like, that's
Just
that's
let
that's
everything
affecting
slide.
the outcome of the game right now. And I was like, I was pissed, dude. And the women's the team we played, the girls team played after us on the same court, and the women's coach goes, calm down, it's not that serious. I was like, not that serious. One, that we lost the championship, lost the chance to get the championship in that, and two, I'm a competitor. I'm not gonna let stuff go. I don't care what type of game this is. Like, I don't care if it's a charity
Well,
game, I'm
and,
gonna get mad.
and as a coach, especially in a competitive environment, regardless of if it's, obviously there's lines and there's, if you're getting aggressive with officials or whatever. It's like, all right, relax. It's 12-year-olds or whatever. But to a point, to your point, I mean, when you're coaching and you're working with these kids and you're wanting them to do well and have a chance to be successful, when those types of things happen, you want to go to bat for your kids because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't in that moment, they're gonna look at you like, dang man, like that was obvious, and you're not even gonna stand up for it, or you're not even gonna say anything.
You got to
And so
fight
I
for it.
see I see where you're coming from is obviously, like I said, there's a limit to it, but you got to go to war for your guys at times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was the
And
thing. Like
and yeah, go ahead.
I was like, that was the thing. I after the game when we huddled up, I looked at him. I was like, we can be pissed at the officials all we want. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, we lost that game. That was on us. That's
Hmm.
on me. That's on you guys. And they were all mad about the officials still. And I'm like, guys, I don't care if they missed. I don't care if they missed every call. We were up 6 points with a minute and a half left, and we shot two unwanted
Quick
threes. Like, what are
shots.
we
Yeah.
doing? What are we doing? I told you guys in a
Hmm.
timeout to pass the ball around, but you didn't listen. You thought you could do it your way. I was like, but at the same time, I should have called the timeout with 7 seconds left and got us a good
Hmm.
look and got everything calmed down. I was like, so that's on me. That part is 100% on me, and it is what it is. Like this is a learning moment for every single one of us in this huddle right now. But
Yeah.
we can't sit here and blame this on the refs when it was our fault at the end of the day.
Real quick on that topic of late game execution at the youth and high school basketball level. Man, I've had a couple times with my squad too where it's like minute 15 left and we're up 7 and we have a 7-second possession where we jack up a no pass 3 and it's like and they come down and get a bucket and it's like guys, we're doing exactly what this team wants us to do right now. We have not we got to think about this
Understand your
because
situation.
I also want to say to him like, if we keep doing this and we lose this game, you guys are going to be pissed, right?
Uh-huh.
So the goal is to win the game. So stop shooting quick shots. Like if you got a wide open layup, take it. But if not, hold that ball. There's no shot
Yeah.
clock.
Exactly. There's no shot clock. Why are we shooting the ball? Just pass the thing
Hmm.
around. They can't beat us if we keep the ball. No,
Um,
I think what
Go
hurt the
ahead.
worst about that was because that was the first game all weekend where they really showed some like grit and some, like
Some fight.
some fight. They won some games, but like that was the first time where they were like, I told them on defense, I was like, dude, I don't care how many times we foul. I don't care. You have 6 fouls in this tournament. I do
Hmm.
not care if you foul. If they go to the free throw line, they're shooting bonus. They will not hit double bonus at all. It's 1-1 every single time. I was like, I don't care
Hmm.
if we foul 12 times. Make them earn it. Make them be uncomfortable with the ball, because that's how we were getting beat by teams by these like inner city all black teams where we got a bunch of white kids on our team that have never seen a team that is just going to get up in you defensively and move their feet and be aggressive, and that's what those teams are really good at doing. Like it was one of those things where I was like, guys, I need you to do this, and we did it, but we didn't finish it, and that's the part that
Hmm.
sucked the most.
Hmm. Back on your officials topic is some of those summer and like AAU officials, it is so bad, like just being straight up honest, that you got to hold them accountable at some point too. So the
Uh-huh.
fact that so he played at Jackson State
He's playing there
or
right
Jacksonville
now.
State.
Yeah, he said he's trying
Yeah,
to
so
transfer to Mississippi State.
it's like you should hold yourself to a higher standard, dude. Like, come on, man. And not that
Exactly.
you're trying to make him feel bad or that it's going to change the
No.
outcome. Like, obviously, you can't go back on it, but you got to hold him accountable a little bit too. It's like, dude, you know, it'd be one thing if the ref didn't know any better. Like, if they were just so bad where it was just like, okay, they missed that call because they're a terrible ref. But when it's a dude like that, it's like, man, come on,
No,
give us a
exactly.
break here.
100%. That's just how I felt on it, and it just to me that was so frustrating because it was like you guys missed some calls down the stretch that really played into the outcome of this game. I'm not going to sit here and blame them, but like I'm going to hold you accountable. Like, come on, be better. You can be a
Mm,
little bit better. I mean, when I'm refing, I want people to, if I'm doing a bad job, like to hold my ass accountable. You know what I mean? Now, don't sit there and
mm.
yell at me when I miss Timmy tripping over the line and you want to foul. Like that's not my fault. Your son or daughter is uncoordinated.
You always use Timmy as the example.
Such a funny name.
Timmy. Oh man, that's so
uh,
funny.
but yeah, I just that's the one that cracks me up the most when you're officiating. When kids are just tripping over themselves. Where's the foul? Like, I can't call a foul on your son's feet.
Like,
Sorry.
hey, your child fell. I'm sorry. That's not a foul. I
If you really want me to,
I
I'll
don't
start
know what to
calling
tell you.
everything, and we don't want that. You don't want that.
Hey man, I try to when I'm reffing, I try to err on the side of calling it a little tighter because it seems to keep people more happy. If you let people
Hmm.
play too much and obviously not being Mr. Stickler on the rules, like you want kids, especially in the summertime, you want them to be able to play through some stuff. But if you let it get a little too 1990s defense, 1980s defense, hand checking and stuff, that's when you're getting parents out on the floor and
Not only that, but you might have
uh,
some kids ready to do this. Like, no, we're
yeah,
we're
right.
we're we're throwing some punches.
Yeah, you don't
Hacker.
want those issues.
Nope, nope, not at all. Shoot, we might as well
We
just move into the last topic.
we're at 51. Go ahead, man.
So
You want to
I'm
get something
sure
off your chest.
all the people in the RMAC who follow us, I'm sure you guys saw that Western hired that head coach. And then all of a sudden, 6 weeks later, they're looking for a new coach, right? Yeah. I mean, it's breaking news, but I'm sure everyone saw it on Hoop Dirt. Lamberty, I cannot think of his first name, but is it like Mike? I think that's what it is. Anyways, basically, dude was at Western for 6 weeks. Made some changes to the staff, made some changes to the roster, and then accepted a job on the East Coast. Um, and I don't know, I just don't think that that's the right thing to do because you made a commitment, and yeah, the term was because of family. And like, I mean, it's understandable. Like, everywhere you want to be somewhat close to family, right? Like, that's every person, that's a natural instinct. But when you knowingly take a job that far away from family, you have to accept that. You have to accept what you just did. Like you made a commitment to that school and to those players, to that university, to the AD, to the whole athletic department that hired you, to the school president, all those people. And then you kind of made them look like a bunch of idiots in a sense, you know what I mean? Like I feel bad for all those guys cuz now they're having to scramble for a new job, for a new coach, have to cancel camps, which is, you know how that is. That's a big money maker in the summertime,
Yeah.
is camps. They have no basketball camps for the men's program. Recruited one kid, got him to sign, and then left a week later. And it's just like, dude, I don't know the guy, so I'm not gonna sit here and just like bash him. But at the same time, you got to have a sense of professionalism to, once you make that commitment, your name is gone. It's like being in a relationship and then allowing this other girl to hit you up and go hang out with her in a sense. Like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, keep your name. You're off limits now. You should at least be able to stick it out for a year, in my opinion, before it's like, oh, hey, you know what? This place, this town, this university isn't a good fit for me. It's time to move on. But I just felt like what he did them dirty. He really did them dirty in the sense of he made a commitment and then he kept his name out there, so
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear, and obviously only one person probably knows the answer to this, but
hmm
what was it'd be interesting to hear what the situation was, if it was, he accepted the job and um, really did continue looking for something else, or if it was something where it was like he accepted the job and then this job that he wanted opened up and he decided to go for it too. Who knows what it was, but
exactly.
um, to your point, especially when you're making roster changes and you're making, already starting to move forward with the way you're going to run your program, and then, pack up and leave again. It puts kind of all those people in a tough spot. Um, but what we were talking about before and kind of mentioned it already was it's this um, climate of or transfer portal, all this type of stuff, people playing at so many different schools. It's also in the coaching world, and people that aren't as connected with it maybe don't realize that, but you don't see a ton of coaches staying in places for very long anymore. It's always that
Mm-mm.
next job mentality. And just thinking about it from the player's perspective that maybe were the um for lack of a better word, victim of those roster changes, that probably hurts them even worse, seeing, oh man, he didn't even stick around, and
hmm
whatever it might be.
No, I agree. It just, I don't know. For me, like we were saying before we press record, like this one hits a little closer to me because I
Yeah.
know those kids personally. I've been at that school. I've seen the stuff that they've gone through, and like just like that. I just want them to have better. I want them to succeed. That's just all I want. But
Hmm.
and I felt like this was the opportunity. I really did. The dude just came from the national runner up. That his record is unreal for as a player and an assistant coach. He's lost like
Hmm.
40 some games combined as both and won at least 200-300. So like he knows basketball. He knows how to win. He knows the game. And
Hmm.
I felt like I was like, man, this is really the turning point for Western. Maybe this first year is going to be, a struggle because it always is. That first year,
Yeah.
because you're trying to change, do your own thing and whatnot. But like I thought, I was like, man, they just made a really good hire. We talked about it when he got hired. That it was like, damn, this is going to be an interesting hire for them. But
Yeah.
when I got that text message from one of the guys I used to coach, I was just like, no way, no way did that just happen. I was
Hmm.
dumbfounded as probably they were because he sent it out as a text message because he didn't want to do the one by one thing where like I'm gonna call you and tell you, but I don't know if you're gonna go call you know
Hmm.
these other teammates and be like, yo,
California or
coach is gonna call you and tell you this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so
right.
I understand to a point. I understand the text message. You want to do it all at one. And with it being summertime, everyone's gone and everyone's all in their own spots again. So it is a challenge to do that. But it's just like, damn, man, he really left that university in a tough situation right now.
Hmm. Well, throw your name in that pool.
Yay,
Yay.
you already know.
That's
So
that might be a sign for you, Bush.
I've had some crazy things happen to me already this year, dude. So like I really like I went to one of the games in Sundance and I was like they played Bighorn and Bighorn beat the hell out of them by like 30 points and came home cuz I went and watched my dad. I was like I was like, call me biased, but I firmly believe I could have competed in that game. We wouldn't have lost by 30. We would have maybe lost by
Mm-hmm.
10. It would have been close. Like I could have had these boys competing. I was like, give me a year with them. I guarantee you I can make a run at a state championship. I firmly believe that just with my style and how I run things because I do hold people to a certain level of accountability, but I'm also understanding. I'm also going to sit there and listen to you. Like if you don't feel like this is the right thing to do, okay, let's talk. Let's hear me. I'll hear you out. I'm going to give you an opportunity to hear you out, you know. So I like to consider myself as one of those like player coach type of guys with my style and everything. But and then so I said that, and then 2 weeks later, I get a text from one of the parents saying, "Hey, do you want to coach them at Queen City?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'll coach them at Queen City. Let's do this." And got a month with them, won that, and it was like, okay, that kind of just manifested itself. And then obviously the first round, I just kind of threw my name in the hat just cause like just to see if I could get an interview because we all want to just practice interviews if we get one, you know.
With what? With
Obviously they
who?
had Western.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then they made their decision. They made their final round choices. I wasn't a part of it, but I wasn't hurt. Like I was like, okay, I kind of expected that, you know what I mean? But now this time around, it's like, okay, dude, just give me a chance. That's all I'm asking for. Just give me an opportunity. That's you know what I mean? That's all
Yeah.
anyone could ever ask for. And I got my ideas like, dude, just give me I would definitely take a year thing and then let's reevaluate it after the end of the year. That way it makes it, you know, like if you don't like the way things went, fine, that's perfectly fine with me. At least you gave me the opportunity, you know,
You would
but
step in. You would like if you were if that were the conditions of it. Like we'll revisit it in a year.
uh-huh.
You would go jump into something like that.
100%. Just dude, I'm telling you, just give me an opportunity. And it's maybe my ego talking or like being biased, but I firmly believe that I know how to coach. You know,
Mm,
I've seen you, you know how to coach. So it's like you know how to when you're a good coach and when you can get players to buy in because for many years coaching youth basketball and doing like and I understand camp coaching is different, but we still drafted players and stuff and I always had, you know, not the greatest rosters assembled, but I always got the most out of kids. I know how to get the
mm,
most out of you, you know? So all I want is a
yeah.
chance at the end of the day. So we'll see.
Like we said, man, you get dudes in your name in people's ears a little bit more, over and over
Hmm.
again. You never know what can happen, especially in coaching. I think
Absolutely.
it's one of those businesses where you feel like nothing's going for you, and then all of a sudden you feel like you have multiple options.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
um,
It'd be It'd be cool. I'm not over here getting my hopes up though, because that's just a bad way to do things. Because if you get your hopes up, then when it doesn't happen, you just are mentally like, damn, man,
hmm
you know what I mean? You're in the dump. So I've just learned to, you know, throw it in, just don't be overconfident. Just let the Lord play it out in front of you.
yes,
If it's
indeed.
meant to be, it's meant to be.
Well, and if you keep doing your thing, doing what you're doing, um, keep getting your name out there, and looking for those opportunities of jobs that you feel like you have a shot at. That's all you can ask for.
Hmm. Yeah. No, within the year though, by next year's season, my goal is to be at a school somewhere again. So I'm gonna be on
College?
hoop. Yeah, I'm gonna be on hoop dirt 100%, just looking and really just going crazy this year. Just because I don't know, I needed the year off. It helped me take a step back, helped me grow up a little bit, see the areas that I needed to improve on, and all that stuff. I think that deal down in Arizona really helped me in learning how to talk to people,
Mm,
asking the right questions, because that's how you got to deal. That's how you got to sell. Is you had to really just kind of you had to sell somebody. You know what I mean? You have to sell them.
yeah.
So that helped me just learn how to talk, knock on someone's door and just talk like, hey, you know, blah 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 blah. Just talk to them, have a conversation.
Mm,
And then this past year just felt like that past year just felt like I grew up a little, matured in that sense. So we'll see. We'll see. But I know I'm gonna be somewhere within the year. That's the goal. That is the
Well,
goal.
I hope we can update on the podcast one day that you're making a move somewhere.
Uh-huh. Podcast will never die because of that though. We'll stay with the pod 100%. Call
Hey
me
man,
Bob.
we're gonna keep grinding it out.
I mean, yeah. How fun would that be? You get a little in-season action, stuff like that. That's more comment, more food for the people to listen to.
Shoot, if you got the time, your Tuesdays ain't gonna be well, I guess we're recording this on Wednesday this
Hmm.
week, but your weeks are gonna be packed, big dog. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I still think though in coaching, like you have to take time for yourself to do things that you enjoy and do all that stuff. You can't be locked in the coaching world from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Like, dude, you know how you've been there and done that. It's just so mentally exhausting. Like I
Mm,
saw a coach tweet. He's like, dude, take that hour during lunch, go home, like relax, go do something that you enjoy doing. Go work out, go do all this stuff. It helps out.
mm-hmm.
And I did that at Western too, and it helped get your mind off stuff because it's like, damn, what's like when you're doing a scout, you're busy as hell. It's like, all right, I've had enough watching film. I'm gonna go do something that I like to do for an hour or so.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes those coaching nights are long nights. Sometimes you're able to detach for a little bit.
The longest night is the night after games at home and you're sitting there waiting for film to upload because you have to have it uploaded that night and you're like, come on,
Don't
just,
remind me,
just
bro.
come on, I need you,
Don't
I want to
remind
go
me.
home. I want to go
Just the
home.
worst. Worst assistant coaching jobs or responsibilities. I would say film exchange is one for sure. Like
Yes.
uploading film, all that type of stuff. What would I say? Oh,
Laundry.
planning travel. Planning travel is
Oh,
way worse. I'll do laundry, dude. Planning the travel is the worst thing in the world, in the assistant
yes.
coaching world.
Yes. You have to plan out, okay, guys, this is where we're going to eat for this, and this. I need orders. I need to call these guys. I'm going to submit my order
Oh,
now. I had a system that worked, but it was like,
it's nonstop, man. It's nonstop.
oh, 100%. That's why you need a good ops person. Like, if you have a great ops person that can do that for you, eliminates a lot of things, a lot of petty things that you have to
A
do.
lot of headaches.
I'm glad that though, I'm sure you are too, but it's nice. I'm glad that we were able to do those things though, because it helps you understand and like
Absolutely.
just makes helps you understand. Like I just remember calling Chick-fil-A one time, bro, in the Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs, and I'm like, yo, I need to place an order for a basketball team. This is what we're gonna do. She goes, I can't do an order over the phone. I said, now hold the phone now. It's
You do
20.
the app, huh? You had to
I
do
was
the
like,
app.
it's 2020, and you're telling me I can't email you the order. I can't, like, that's something I can't. Sorry, but this is just how I was like, I went to Chick-fil-A last week in Denver and they let me do this. How come you guys aren't? Oh, I was getting so frustrated. She goes, you're gonna have to order on the app. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I ordered on the app and good. It worked out, but Jesus, dude, that was horrible. I
The
was,
emailing in the orders, that's classic right there. Hey, can
that's the
I get a
go
quick
move.
email address from you?
Yeah.
Gonna email you this spreadsheet with all these orders that you're not gonna get right. So
Yeah,
thanks.
sure. Hey, first off, before I hang up, I'm gonna send you a quick email to make sure that this email address is the right one and it works. I've sent so many
Uh,
emails out that's like, nope, sorry, that's the wrong address. I'm like, excuse me? I asked for someone's number one time. I said, can you just give me your cell phone number so I can send you a picture of it? Yeah, sure, that works. I'm like, thank God.
Kids, if you're wanting to get into college coaching, get an ops job and then come
Yes.
back to us and see if you still want to get into college coaching.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, it's
That is
terrible.
a headache in itself, dude. Like you said, planning travel. Hey, I need to get this bus, dude. I like getting the buses lined up. Thank God Western has their own
All of
bus.
it, man. All
We
of it
needed
is
a
just
driver.
not
That
fun.
was the thing why we were getting Coach America because we needed a driver. But then, yeah, just I could go on for years on. Yeah, I'm sure you could too.
Oh man, I have stories for days. Too long for this podcast.
Good Lord. Yeah, no, I
All right,
can't. I gotta
people.
take my mind off
That's
that.
an
Yes, hey,
episode. That's an
shout out
episode.
Ryan Blaney, Coke 600 winner, my guy, winner. It's a winner. Winner's hat.
Don't no one knows who that is, Bush.
Search him up, Ryan Blaney. You'll know.
Real quick
Um,
before we sign off, saw you going off on NASCAR on Twitter, so
yes,
um, don't know
I
what
did.
that's all about, and I probably wouldn't understand it if you explained it to me, but
Basically,
I hope everything's okay.
I have two drivers that I like. This guy right here, and then another guy named Chase Elliott, and he got ran into the wall 2 times in a row, and then sent by the same guy in 2 laps. And so we wrecked him in the worst part of the track, got suspended. But the part that makes me frustrated is that this guy intentionally wrecked someone earlier in the season, admitted it, and only got docked like 50 points and served a fine, no suspension. So
Mm.
I can't have a double standard out here, boys. Not for my guy. No, come on. But that, that's all
Let
the
him hear
NASCAR
it,
talk you
Bush.
guys get. That's all the NASCAR talk you guys get. And
Tune in
follow
on
me on
Twitter if you
Twitter.
want to see
Yeah,
more.
tune in on Twitter. Other than that, you know where to follow us.
What?
All the
Oh, we didn't even say
platforms.
what episode is it. Is this 16?
Oh
Episode
God, this is
16?
episode 16.
There you go. Got it at the end this time.
Yep. Shout out to Hills for remembering that. I forgot. Episode 16. Tomorrow will
Episode
be,
16.
I'll get it all done tomorrow, but I hope you all had a great week. We'll see you guys next week. And I have a guest in mind that I'm actually reffing with this weekend. So hopefully I can get him. He's an RMAC player, and I know we needed to spice it up a little bit with different teams. So
Ooh.
this is a good cat. So we'll
I
see if
don't
he
even
says
know who
yes.
this is, so
We'll see if
I'm
he says
excited to
yes.
know.
So I'm sure he will. I'll talk to him. I ref like 3 games with him. So we'll see.
Yeah, man,
But
put
other
in a
than
good
that,
word.
absolutely. Other than that, peace.
Peace, people. Kitchen Hook.
Mm-hmm.